I also write a lot of my mantras because
That's very good. Visual.
yeah, it's so powerful to see it and to feel it through your body.
I have them as my screensavers on my phones, on my computers, mantras. So you're
Ooh.
constantly seeing it. Yeah. It's very good.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Yeah, somebody told me the tip not too long ago about, you know how you always have to update your passwords and it's ridiculous? To constantly update it in line with some of your mantras and what you're working with.
That's what I've been doing. That's really weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea because you're right. It's a part of the subconscious, then it becomes part of your world.
Yep, I've been doing the same. That's very strange. See, I feel like every moment you're supposed to be doing when you're in the right place. Right now, us having this conversation was supposed to happen. That's where I'm at in my life, philosophically. You know, you're bringing good positivity. Right.
Now, is your family into this as well? Is this something that you kind of all support each other on, or are you a little bit the odd one out on some of that?
I'm the leader in all of this.
Good for you.
Yeah, the band is under Laura Cheadle, you know, my name. They love it, but I think my passion really skyrockets us everywhere. You know, I'm involved in the business, the booking, everything with my management. And, you know, I pretty much take them on this crazy journey with me, but they love it. We were on the reality show, The Next Great Family Band, which was on NBC. Yeah. And that was hilarious. So, you know, they're along for the ride, but they love it. Absolutely. But I'm definitely the leader of the pack here.
Yeah, I love that. Being lead sled dog is something I really enjoy. So how was your experience on the reality show? Tell us a little bit about that.
That was nice. I mean, it wasn't like a show where they pin you against each other, which was great. It was sweet. It was on Cozy TV, and it also aired on NBC. So it was great. They came to our house and they filmed it. We were against little kid bands, so they took up the prize. But the publicity, I always also tell people, even if you don't win a competition or the publicity is amazing that you can get from that. And I got a lot of publicity from that show.
I bet. And I bet the contacts too. I bet just the people that you've met from that.
Doing press for it. And that's how I got most of my touring originally. So it was great.
Right. So talk a little bit more so the listeners kind of understand a little bit more about your journey. Obviously, music was always in your background. Obviously, you're grown up with it. It's been your passion. Was there ever a turning point where you thought, I can go big or I can continue to kind of just stink around with it? What was that like for you?
The past 2 years have been a transition. I decided I don't want to play bars anymore. I don't want to play lower level gigs. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just where I'm at. I don't want to be doing that anymore. So since I made that mental change, I've been on major tours. I've done touring my whole life, but now every show I have is a big tour opening for a famous artist or a huge special event. I made that decision mentally to don't sell myself short because I'm at the level now. I'm not, you know, and there's, like I said, nothing wrong with bar singing. I hate saying that out loud, but
no, I know.
It's just the next step up for more of an event. Like this weekend, I'm touring to major artists and I'm doing it this whole summer. And it just, you have to make that mental change for your life to change.
Mm-hmm. So that might be the first step that you would tell the listeners out here today. Decide mentally what you want and then take the action.
Yeah. Because if you're saying that to yourself constantly, then you won't be booking these things I've done my whole life. You know, I'm like, okay, I've already done that. I can always go back to it. Why don't I take some chances? And it's paying off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is paying off. And then I think for me, it's the gratitude of being able to say, wow, thank you. I got that and feeling it and appreciating it.
Where I was 2 years ago is there needs to be growth if you're trying to make this a lifelong career. If you're stuck doing the same thing, you're stagnant, you might have to reevaluate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And also, I'm going to kind of jump into how you said you're leading your family along. I know a lot of the listeners and a lot of the women that I work with will send comments that'll say things like, well, I would love to change, but I'm a mom and I'm a wife and I can't. Or I would love to change, but my family won't get it. My work won't get it. You're changing everybody along with you.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. I meet a lot of family. I mean, I'm not a mom, but I meet moms that they're killing it. There's this one woman I work with all the time. She's touring all around. Your life doesn't have to stop if you're married, if kids, if you're with a big family, it doesn't matter. If you're making that decision, you can make it work for yourself. People love to give excuses, and I don't believe that there are any if you want to follow your dreams.
Right. No, I love that. And that's, the whole title of my show, Build Your Dreams. You build it. You create it. If this is your dream and there's no structure to support it, create that structure. That's fine.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. So what about in songwriting? Have you ever had writer's block? Have you ever sat down and had some pressure and nothing comes out?
Yes. Right now I'm too happy. So, the best writing usually comes when you're a little upset over something or a breakup but I also just released my new album Chill, which is now available worldwide. And that took 4 years to write. So that took a lot out of me. So now I'm at the next phase of writing. So that'll take a little bit to get inspired again. But yeah, it comes. But when I get inspired, oh man, I'll be writing for weeks. So yeah, there's definitely writer's block because I can't write just to write something. I write what I'm feeling.
Right. I love two things that you said. One, that the best writing comes from when you're sad, when you've had a breakup.
Yes. That's been from my experience anyway. I mean, I've written my share of love songs, but sometimes the best writing comes when you're unsure about life, or that's why everyone says people have their whole life to write their first album, which is so true. Because my first album was so full of angst, and but it'll come back. The creativity was.
And I'm thinking for listeners out there who might not be writing songs or writing books, but who are in a tough time and they're thinking, this is horrible, this is awful. I'm thinking there's some golden nuggets that they can mine out of that angst, out of those breakups, out of that heartbreak.
Absolutely. Just start writing down your thoughts, thinking about, just write it all down. Mm-hmm. And you don't need to write it. I never write a song like verse, chorus, where I just write down my thoughts and then I put it together later. And that could apply to anything, a short story, a poem, a film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it will apply to that.
Or even just some random personal growth. Write down those ideas and realize I am depressed. Wow, who can I reach out to if I'm depressed? Or I do have a substance abuse issue going on here. Maybe I should look into that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. And then And the second thing that came up from that story is you said it took you 4 years to do that first album.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it true that so many people think when a success happens that it happened overnight?
Oh, yeah, of course, because everyone thinks, people that are negative are like, oh, they have all the opportunities, they'll come up with every excuse, but they don't see the people working hard. It really inspired me recently with watching Ellen DeGeneres' special talking about how she made it. She was in a horrible, dark place. She lost the love of her life. And she wrote this one joke. And she said, I'm going to be famous from this joke. And she kept that in her head. And she kept it in her head and she got famous. She just didn't stop. I was very inspired by that because she's ruling the world now. So she just took that pain and she started going to little hole-in-the-wall clubs. And she was determined. And that joke was the joke that made her famous. So I don't know. It inspired me recently. So that's what I tell people. She was in the darkest place. She couldn't even afford her rent. It's very cool to me.
Wow. I love that story. So that was on TV, or was that a YouTube thing?
She was on something recent. I think it was a Netflix show or something. I'll find out. But she was telling how she made it, and it was like the call to God was her big joke. It was interesting because I like to see people. Same with Ed Sheeran, the singer-songwriter.
Yeah,
he had mapped out on paper every album and how famous it was going to get, and everything came true. And where he would be in his career. But he mapped it out years before. And he was rejected by like 20 music labels. And that's inspiring too. I'm like, how did he know? It's because they decided to do it and get better. It was and they're very talented, of course. But
right.
Inspiring.
But it's work. I mean, it really is the work and it is the plan. To me, I mean, we all see things differently, but as I use my meditation, I use that meditation time often to create what's next and what's coming next. And it's kind of an interplay between my religious belief is more like the universe. The universe is giving me information at the same time. Yeah, I'm creating. So it is a co-creation. It's what do I want and what's being given. And it mixes all together in this beautiful swirl, and it comes to pass.
We have the same name and the same philosophy. Very interesting. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So what's your middle name?
Anne.
Anne. Okay. Mine was Lynn. So Laura Lynn and Laura Ann.
Close. That's pretty close. I mean, everyone was either Anne or Lynn, so it's pretty close.
Exactly. Isn't that funny? and then what's your birthday? Just month and day?
February 20th.
Okay. I'm January 30th.
Oh, Aquarius?
Yeah. And you're Pisces.
I'm the cusp, though, the Aquarius cusp. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yep. Yeah,
that would be weird. We had the same birthday. Really, I would just hang up if we had the same birthday.
Be like, oh my gosh, we're twins.
And you found me. Were people online thinking you were me, or you just kind of came across me? This is very interesting.
It is very interesting. I have had a few people in conversation that I work with, or my publisher or whatever, say, "I didn't know you sang," and I'll be like, "I do, but not like in the shower. Are you in my shower?"
That is so funny.
Yeah. So then I thought, well, I need to find out who this Laura Cheadle is, because you have the more common spelling. Laura is definitely more common than Lora. So I thought, I need to find out about you. And I read your bio, which I need to read for our audience today too. Let me pull that up. And I thought it was fantastic. And then I started listening to you, and I was like, we need to meet, where she's amazing. And see, now that I know we have the same religious philosophy or spiritual philosophy, it's even better. Okay, this is Laura's little about Laura on her website, and I just loved it. If you're longing for some real music that you can feel in your heart, yes, lyrics that speak to your soul, and a live performance with the power to blow the roof off the sky, you can stop right here. If you are tired of all the staged choreography, blinding light shows, capes, costumes, lip syncing, and auto-tunes that seem to have taken over live performances, you have found a place to rest, refresh, and renew. Welcome to the world of Laura Cheadle. Along with her family band, she has opened for some of the biggest names in the business and won numerous awards, including Best Indie Jazz Blues Band at WXPN-sponsored Tri-State Indie Music Awards. She has performed on stages from New York to London, appeared on 6 ABC's Tuned In as the very first viewer's choice, the NBC 10 show, and the national reality show Next Great Family Band. Laura was recently featured in Curve magazine, named one of the 100 Women We Love in Go magazine, and declared a superwoman in South Jersey magazine for her active charity work. Never one to measure herself according to the trends of the Times of Female Singers Flavor of the Month, Laura has carved out her own lane since she began performing as a child, and she has done it the old-fashioned way, on pure talent. Gifted with a voice powerful enough to shake rafters and tender enough to navigate the entire range of the emotional scale, Lora Cheadle is a singer commanding more than just a listen or a look. Her albums, like her concerts, are an experience, inseparable from the truth of the songs she writes. The raw emotion that tears out of her reaches deep into your heart with a kind of performance we now only see in films like Woodstock. With a vocal style that is mesmerizing, I lost my lane there, mesmerizing blend of soulful blues and timeless rock with both feet planted firmly in funk. She brings her own unique interpretation to every song she sings, regardless of the genre she takes on. Whether it's a concert of her own material, a sophisticated cabaret show, or a monster blues jam at the close of a festival, what you see and hear is what you'll always get. The undeniable and unmistakable sound of Laura Cheadle.
Woo!
I love that. Love that so much. Some of the things that there's a lot that I love about that, but your own mix. I love how you describe the mix of who you are and what you do. That is brilliant to me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Talk more